Make matters worse. Even after all of that, you might end up having to face off versus like Max Pack or Hero Marine or something. Oh god. This is whoever makes it through this, if they make it through that bracket, it's gonna be unbelievable. I think a lot of people are expecting that this guy down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map is gonna be a bit favored coming into this match. We have our red Protoss player known as the Wall. He is ShoWTimE.
Representing Team Big. And spawning over in the top left, representing Berserker Esports, it is souL. I see an SV out on the map, making a barracks. Pretty damn far away, it's got to be said. But souL, he's kind of keeping up the same ideas here that he did against Gerald in the first series he had yesterday.
Yeah, that is the exact hex, like perfectly hex placed position as Uthermal put his starport earlier today against Max Pax.
Oh, really?
The exact hex that he put his starport, yeah. Right
hex,
by that
man.
brush.
You know, my arm's starting to feel a little bit of that injection that I heard earlier, Ravi. And
oh, nice.
Now
You getting 5G now?
Yeah, I think so. Oh my god, the microphone's sticking to me. I don't know what's happening, but I'm thinking now that I can't really use my left arm, that maybe Rotterdam might have a chance against me in Quake now.
Now that I have to play one-handed.
Yeah, wow. I mean, playing one-handed FPS is impossible, but I still think Rotti might lose.
Wow, the confidence on this man. Well, I'm interested to see if souL is going to be as confident with this proxy that is coming forward. Now, ShoWTimE did send his probes across the map. He did confirm that there is, in fact, no barracks back at home. But now he's going to move back in with the probe, and he's going to see there's also no factory as a part of this wall off. And that is where some extra alarm bells should start sounding here for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, absolutely. This probe is going for the second scout here, being quite good and thorough. And souL, like, the thing about ShoWTimE is he got to watch the VOD. Like, make no mistake, he definitely went, wow, a second barracks? I mean, souL's just playing super one-basey here.
I mean, this just reminds me of that 2018 season of WCS North America where Masa was like, if I put something in my main base, that's just silly. Why wouldn't I expand? You know, manifest destiny, take the whole map. The map is my playground. The map is my base.
Okay, the first two Hellions are coming along now. ShoWTimE does have two Stalkers out, which one of them just leaving the base, but okay. Nice little catch there. I'm a bit surprised that souL didn't commit, but I mean, he's got other plans, right? Like he's getting his sea shanks, getting the Marines, going to be busting out 3 at a time.
But here's the weird thing is that the Hellions retreat so far back down a path that it actually gives ShoWTimE a little bit of an opportunity. Even if he doesn't see the exact positioning of the barracks and everything, he probably has a pretty decent idea based on both the angle that the Hellions came in from and like the area they were retreating to. He got to move the Stalkers forward and knows like, okay, this is like probably a pretty far away proxy.
Maybe. The thing is, this proxy is so wild and weird that I don't know the last time I saw something like this. And yeah, like ShoWTimE, he's going to be thinking, I'm against some Widowmine drop follow-up, right? And so he's going to have that on his mind because that is the most obvious approach. This probe that he's got at the third of souL here, like he doesn't know what he's up against at all. This observer going out across the map, straight across the map, it's not going to get the scout off on this army that's coming either. And does he have a shield? Okay, he doesn't have a shield battery either. Like this is going to be a really hard push to hold.
And making a second observer one really he would love an Immortal right now. If he knew what was coming his way, he would absolutely have been chrono boosting out an Immortal, maybe a second one right now. And with no shield battery, how on earth do you defend against this, Ben?
I actually think ShoWTimE's dead. I think he's super dead. He got super bamboozled here. souL with a very, very prepared push. And honestly, ShoWTimE, look at that. He's on 40 probes here, Ravi. And that is just too damn greedy. Like, if he holds this from here, I'll be super surprised.
I mean, at this point, I think if you have any hope whatsoever of making this happen, it looks like he doesn't. souL is going to end up taking the game 1-0. What a start. What a way to create a crack in the wall.
I mean, what a performance from the floating head. It's got to be said. That was an impressive push by him. I'm definitely questioning a bit of ShoWTimE's play there. Like, obviously trying to get 3 observers out. He thought a different game was happening. Super bamboozled by souL, like super bamboozled. It definitely shows me that ShoWTimE, like a build like this, if it works, it's mainly your opponent kind of misreacting or misreading. And ShoWTimE, it just shows me that he had no idea, which can definitely say that maybe he's lacking a bit of confidence in this matchup recently. I know he did go down in the lower bracket to Big Gabe, none other than Big Gabe, which, you know, he's a really damn good player. But yeah, you got there's so many things that a Terran can cheese you out with, but realistically, if you do sniff it even just a little bit, you should be able to hold there. But he was way too greedy.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning, like, I don't know if this was even crossing ShoWTimE's mind, but after only having seen just the Hellions, but he couldn't find the barracks or the factory, he was scouting around, because there's also the Terran thing that a lot of Terran players really like doing, which is, I'm going to not actually proxy anything, but I'll just hide all of my buildings and make it look a little bit like a proxy. You still go for a 1-1-1, but like everything's still on my side of the map. So ShoWTimE may have just been thinking like, yeah, it's not as committed. He's not coming in for the big attack. He's going for a Widow Mine drop or something else. But man, just that was a well-played build order from souL and a really, really well-executed kind of strategy there. Now, the question here is, Ben, is I feel like whenever you have a game like that that leads off the series, it's kind of almost like the series is starting off just with one player being up 1-0 and no real normal builds and like how the interaction stuff will go in a normal macro game have really been revealed or dove into now. It's just like souL gets the 1-0 lead and now the series begins.
Yes, totally with you. Like, they didn't really get to learn too much from one another. But one thing that souL can definitely take away from that is ShoWTimE misread that whole thing. He even took a bit of extra time going into the lobby there, did souL. So maybe he was actually just taking his time to be like, all right, what did he do? Because, you know, I love that rewind button in the game where you can check out how many workers your opponent had and stuff. Because, yeah, he just misreacted entirely. Anyhow, spawning in the bottom right-hand side of Blackburn, it is souL.
And over here in the bottom left-hand side of the map, the red Protoss player from Berlin International Gaming, he is ShoWTimE.
Yeah, and while souL obviously starts off 1-0, we can definitely say that maybe he feels that ShoWTimE did react, like, misread the whole thing, that maybe he's going to go about trying to do weird things for the rest of this series, because even though ShoWTimE didn't get to learn how souL macros and stuff, they've played at each other enough. But whatever happens on the day, sometimes things just are a little, like a fraction of a percentage off, but that can really throw you off entirely.
Absolutely. And souL's going to try and capitalize even more so on this. He's gotten a probe pull of 5 probes, which is definitely not too shabby. We're going to see ShoWTimE just throwing down the pile, and it's like, I am taking this base, whether you want it or not. And, well, behind this, souL's just going to think, yeah, already just got enough of the engineering bay built over there. I can go ahead and cancel this. SCV is just going to be annoying. He has a Marine coming up behind all this and kind of pushing back the scouting probe of ShoWTimE.
Oh, that poor little SCV. That is, yeah, he did his job, though. He did his job, because, oh, where's that second? Wait, what? Second barracks over in that position? Oh, it's a 3 barracks, 1 base?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
I mean, okay. I love how souL's playing, man. What a ballsy lad.
Is this actually going to... Oh, okay. It's Concussive Shell Marauder with the 3 racks. This is... Okay, Ben, I'm so glad you're here, because this is a build I don't think I've seen since literally the Wings of Liberty days.
You know, this build's so old. Maybe I invented it a long time ago. I mean, like, this build is so out there. You know, I might have been even more crazy. I might have lifted that barracks down beyond the slow zones a little bit and planted it there just so it arrives a bit faster, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is, like, souL, he is absolutely playing the card here that ShoWTimE misread the first game so hard that he's just going to keep on doing weird stuff. And boom, sees a Marauder. doesn't see a natural.
Yep. That's should set off some alarm bells. Now there is a Stargate coming on out. Ben, this is a very different era than Wings of Liberty. There are shield batteries. There are other units you can make from the Stargate that you couldn't make in Wings of Liberty. What do you want to see from ShoWTimE here?
I think an Oracle is actually maybe the best choice here. That being said, I haven't seen this done in a long time. Like, souL is absolutely going to be banking on ShoWTimE not reacting properly. I think Oracle is a good call. Can get the quick scout off. Depending on what you see, you can get damage done as well. But look at this, Ravi. Like, this is Stim, Combat Shield on one base. You know, no more SCVs, just total lunacy from souL.
Ben, I don't know if you're familiar with the Collegiate Star League, but I played exactly one series for my Collegiate Star League team, and I had to off-race as Terran, and this is the build they told me to do. God damn it, it worked. It hits kind of strong, actually, like with a decent number of Marines and Marauders. It's just such an out there thing that ShoWTimE has got to be kind of thinking like, this is so strange. Oh my God, pulls the boys too. That is not even a few of the boys. That is basically like the entire squad. It's all eligible boys that are over the age of 18.
Okay, this build has got wild, and ShoWTimE now knows what he's up against. ShoWTimE was actually going for a third before this, which, you know, we know is a bit of an error. No cancel on that gateway either. Oh dear. I mean, okay, shield battery overcharge. That is damn good.
Oh my God, that adept! That one adept just won't die, Ben! It just won't die! Oh my God, ShoWTimE annihilates this push.
Well, there's a reason that we've never seen that before, and yeah, that ShoWTimE's probably thinking, man, this guy, like, what's he doing? Like, and that honestly, the first game, that's how hard that first game should have been shut down. Like, you know, a shield battery well placed and stuff, but souL, yeah. Don't get me wrong. This kind of play style, it's very fun because I'm like, he is crazy. Like, this is beyond Bly level crazy. This is super damn crazy. But it's really fun to see what he's pulling out here on the big stage.
Ben, because I needed to know, I rewound and I looked at how many units were focus firing down that single adept getting healed by the shield battery. There were 5 Marauders and 5 Marines, all target firing it down with Setter stepping forward. And it just refused to die, man. That adept literally just prevented any of the Bioforces from moving on forward. All the SCVs ended up dying, basically fighting against the probes instead. And man, that was pretty brutal. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, that build, maybe it worked before shield batteries became a thing, but even then, you know, like he's really banking on. I'm not really sure. I'm really not sure. Like,
that was with ShoWTimE getting a third base too, right? Like, I could, like, if there wasn't a shield battery, I actually could see, like, if ShoWTimE was just a little bit greedier, but that is still asking for quite a bit of greed there from ShoWTimE.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, ShoWTimE's Oracle arrived and he was like, what? Where are the SCVs? I like some of the reaction by ShoWTimE. He's like, okay, I'm just going to build up a wall with gateways and stuff. He was pretty quick to pull his own works as well for the fight. Not even just for tanking, but just for damage, because the Adepts form this kind of wall off. But yeah, those bio units did no damage whatsoever. And I think Stim finished a little bit late as well, that the fight was already kind of commencing. But yeah, the Oracles did the job, came back and owned everything. Anyhow, getting into the third game of the series, currently tied. Spawning in the top left, it is souL.
And down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map, the red Protoss player who's reconstructing the wall. He is ShoWTimE. Team big.
I like the fact that ShoWTimE, aka the wall, won by making a wall. And yeah, look at that. An SCV on the map again. I am enjoying souL's play. Oh, just missed it.
Just missed it. Yeah. I'm also enjoying it. You know, Ben, there's a few players out there. It's like occasionally it's all, you know, no Protoss player will ever be like, I don't have any all-ins available. Like, There's a few times that in history, some Zerg players and Terran players just kind of like, I don't have any all-in I can do. There's just like nothing available to me. And I'm like, well, take a look at some players like this. Take a look at some crazy strategies and things that you can do, like souL has been tossing out over here. They don't always work, but man, they definitely, there's something then.
I love this dance between the probe and the SCV. Like, okay, it does get the nexus up in the forward location, so the engineering bay block did work. Gets a more vulnerable natural base. On souL's side of things, we'll go for the marine opening, going to go for a CC as well. The thing is, we have to remember, this game is off the back of souL doing some 2 outrageous cheeses in a row. And that's a lot of building for the rest of the series. And ShoWTimE, he has to respect that, because even though every game is a fresh slate, he has to go in with the mind that, holy crap, my opponent is crazy. Like, it could be 7 barracks, behind this. Could be absolutely anything.
No, I think that's such a great point to make. 1 is an isolated point. 2 is the beginnings of a pattern. And I think we naturally just start thinking like, all right, I see where the line is being drawn in like between these 2 points. And I see this cheesy line developing. And you're just keeping an eye out for the 3rd one after that. It's hard to not think about that kind of stuff. So I like that souL is able to at least even get into a tied-up series with that kind of edge over ShoWTimE now. Because ShoWTimE hasn't really shown anything that's going to make souL think the same way. ShoWTimE is, even though he has been able to mix in cheeses, I would say, in the last year and a half or so, more so in his play than ever before, he is still very much so the kind of macro player that you can kind of dependably rely on being the like macro player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. souL, so I thought Eutherma was going to do this kind of build earlier, where he went for like 6 Marine and 2 Hellion. But it's actually souL going for it with just 5 Marine and 2 Hellion. ShoWTimE was good enough with the scouting, by the way, that he did get to see that the factory went onto that reactor. And he did go for that shield battery aggressively. And souL is going for Widow Mines behind all this. So this is very similar to the kind of stuff he was throwing out against Gerald, actually.
Marine's coming in. Yeah, from an angle the depths are not quite at. He's going to soften up one of the pros, but now the shield battery's finished up. Adepts not in range of the shield battery. One of them ends up falling over there in exchange for, I think, 1 or 2 of the Marines. Oracle's finding some nice damage inside the main base. Oh, it's going to go down to the Widow Mine.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, he's going to die. He didn't go to the shield battery. Oh my goodness. I have never seen... I can't believe that ShoWTimE allowed this to happen, man. Like, I can't believe he allowed this to happen. This was so poorly handled.
Oh, this is absolute disaster. I mean, even the small things where, yes, all the probes will get healed up by the shield battery, but if you stack up all your probes, as the Hellion attacks your probes, you're also going to drain the shield battery of the energy. It's just, so many things going wrong. Now the Widow Mine drop comes on in, and ShoWTimE is going to react, but...
Oh, great split, actually. Great split.
Yeah. Got a little scary there for a moment. Does get 3 workers. Medevac is getting worked away on. It looks like a Hellion made its way over to the main base, but ShoWTimE is actually distracted by this Medevac, and a lot of his probes are not mining until just now. I think he sends them back to mining.
But 3 probe losses for this? I think this was actually great. Oh, so he does note that it is well, there is an armory on the map. Oh, that one. Oh, that was okay, that was unfortunate. That was like split-second time for ShoWTimE, and definitely unfortunate. But he does survive. He's on 3 bases now. He can chrono boost out probes like a madman. Go up to Twilight Council and does have Phoenixes on the map. And this medevac goes to the base that's the freshest, but with the least probes, so does reveal itself rather early here.
Yeah, 2 Widow Mines in there, but the Phoenix should be around to pick up as soon as those Widow Mines unload. And yep, not going to allow the burrow potential over there. So that's a nice cleanup.
Oh.
10 workers just got killed somewhere. Oh my god, another Widow Mine at the 3rd base. Oh,
and that Widow Mine at the 3rd base has 9 kills. Now, even if a Widow Mine gets a perfect, it should never be getting 9 kills. So there was definitely some missed micro going on from ShoWTimE, I think, or some clumping.
Yeah.
Gonna get another shot off here, Ravi. Is it? Oh, Okay, nice reactions by ShoWTimE.
Yeah, and he cleaned up the one of the natural as well, but there's more Widow lines coming for. I think souL, this is one of those points where I think you've just identified how much hell you're giving your opponents with this unit, and you're like, well, it doesn't matter if it was a good idea to keep doing it. Why wouldn't I just keep doing it? Because it's clearly stressing my opponent out.
Yeah, and how many workers have died this game so far? 17 probes. I mean, ShoWTimE's still ahead in workers, and it's not as if it went without a cost, but this is definitely one of those horrible games where it's like, all right, I want to leave. Oh my goodness, is this Widow mine?
No. Oh God.
Yeah, this is seeing ShoWTimE kind of get. It's weird, right? Like I'm not used to this, but he is absolutely getting torn apart by these Widow mines.
I mean, I want to credit souL a little bit.
He's playing really well.
Yeah, and not only is he just like playing really well, but this goes back to like the 2 cheeses that we saw earlier. And even though one of them failed very one-sidedly, but the other one also worked, like catching ShoWTimE super off guard, the engineering bay blocks, like these are the ways you throw someone off their game. Like by throwing someone off their game, you can force mistakes like this.
I am surprised though that like there aren't scouting pylons around the map, or like one behind the top right, you know? There's just a few things that like souL is just catching ShoWTimE just continuously off guard. And I do understand, like once one thing goes wrong, it can feel like everything goes wrong from that point afterwards. But there are definitely a few things that souL, or rather ShoWTimE, is just missing a little bit, missing the beat.
Did ShoWTimE just miss that he didn't actually kill the Widow mine at the natural? I'm a little worried he missed that.
I think he's prepped, but he's got more things to deal with here. souL is pushing the front. He's doing a good job. Oh, the Widow mines again. I mean, souL, if he has any unit that is his unit after this tournament, it is the Widow mine. He's done so much with it here.
He absolutely has. Shield battery overcharge is now going to be on cooldown as well. There's a decent number of Marauders. They're going to target fire down that Colossus. They managed to get it. They target fire down the Immortal. Managed to get that as well. Widow mine goes off on the Phoenix, but it survives. It does seem like there's enough of these charge loss to at least force souL back a little bit, but the reinforcements arrive, Ben, and those reinforcements are not going to be halted easily.
Certainly not, and souL takes a 2-1 lead against ShoWTimE, something I didn't think I'd be saying here. Wow.
Me too, man. This is, I mean, souL playing really, really well, and not just well, like strategically, or sorry, in terms of his own mechanics and everything, but actually strategically being able to throw off ShoWTimE, even maybe more so than he already was a little bit thrown off, as you were talking about, Ben. But guys, we are going to be heading to a short break, giving both these players maybe a little bit of a chance to think about what they want to do for game 4 and 5. We'll see you in a bit. An extremely hectic series so far today between these two players of souL and ShoWTimE. Definitely leaves us wondering as we move into game number 4, Ben, what is souL going to do next?
I mean, that game he played, I don't want to say standard because the Winter Mine stuff is kind of crazy, but I just hope we're going to see a ShoWTimE that's a bit more composed, because a lot of that game started off so bad, Ravi. Like, okay, gets Engineering Bay blocked, takes the other base, which is fine. But then that 5 Marine, 2 Hellion move out, was that 3 Adepts that died to it? Because they were all out of range of a shield battery right next to them. And it was like, you know, and then at the same time, the Oracle kills a Widowmine, but there's another Widowmine burrowed to it, and he lost both. And it's just like, it went from bad to worse. And like ShoWTimE never really got into the game. And it was incredible, because these are the things that he's going to really kick himself for, because he's like, I'm better than this. Like, I'm one of the best in Europe. And this kind of stuff, like, I'm literally falling at the first hurdle. But well played by souL, it's got to be said.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we get ready to move into game number 4 in a position where I think Ben and I, and also Zombie Grub, were not expecting to be, where this young man up here in the top right-hand corner of the map is sitting up in the series 2-1. He is none other than souL from Berserker Esports.
I see 2 SCVs leaving the base already. What happened to him? Yeah, what happened to him? I don't know. Like, this is so good to see such a change, but spawning over in the bottom left of 2K Atmospheres, representing big, it is ShoWTimE. Like,
he is going Berserker, man. He's going Berserker on Berserker Esports.
Like, for me, souL has been this guy that's been very good at the macro games, like incredibly good at the macro games, very solid. I don't want to say super predictable, but this is a different souL. Like, he came to this series super prepared, super cheesy, super gimmicky. He can actually fall back on the solid macro play as well, like we saw last game. And he's just making ShoWTimE's life horrible. Like, there's no other way to put it.
Oh man, I'm like, Ben, there's the two parts of me. There's the one part where ShoWTimE is one of my favorite European Protoss players, and I'm like, man, just for ShoWTimE's sake, I really don't want to see him lose, but man, I'm also going to be keeping such a close eye out on that camera. If this game does not go well for ShoWTimE, if things are starting to look bad, because this is just going to be a brutal way to lose, where it is just going to feel like souL disrupted ShoWTimE. And I think you know the feeling, right? Where it's not even necessarily that you aren't aware of the fact that them doing strange or out there strategies can throw you off your game plan or your overall game, but just you feel bad about how bad you played or like the mistakes that you made and stuff when you have series like this.
I mean, this kind of game as well. Like, do you think ShoWTimE was planning like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get blocked here and it's gonna go like this? Like, no, he was not thinking about this kind of stuff happening. I like this response though. The Zealot wasn't gonna be able to stop that bunker. He gets the pylon block off on the top of this ramp, and you can't actually sort out that wall with how he's placed that pylon. So nice moves by ShoWTimE here.
Yeah, has the shield battery up on the high ground, and with only 1 Marine in that bunker, he can gradually whittle away at it, but there are more Marines coming to reinforce, so this does get kind of interesting. There is that 1 probe plus the Zealot. I wonder how much damage they can actually get done over here with the 3 Marines pulling back.
So the reason that there was only 1 Marine in that bunker for a bit of time is because souL had the foresight to chase it down, realizing what was going to happen. Yeah. So he kills the probe in his base, gets rid of the Zealot as well. Got a little bit supply blocked here, but didn't actually take any losses whatsoever. Oh, look at that shield battery, by the way. It's actually out of energy.
Yeah, since there was, for a long time, there's only 1 Stalker actually attacking that bunker. Even just the 1 Marine initially, and eventually like the 2nd and 3rd Marine, definitely depleted it. Wow, I guess, yeah, the salvage gets off.
I'm really enjoying souL's play, man. Like, I really love this anti-prep kind of stuff, because this is not the way that souL, or rather ShoWTimE, planned on this series going. Like, he wanted some nice, solid games where he scouts, reacts, holds off things, and souL was just like, well, you want that? Well, I'm going to give you this. It's absolutely not what he ordered. ShoWTimE didn't even know this was on the menu.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you there. with all of that said and done, how do you feel about where the game ends up now? Because I do think souL has had this opportunity where he's gotten up his tech and a lot of these other things. ShoWTimE's work account is not looking too bad, and he does have his, faster natural. He still has some of his own tech up, and he does kind of just have full map control for a little bit now.
I actually like if I was looking at this and I'm in souL's position, I'm always a bit like, well, this kind of sucks. Like, I wanted this to do a bit more. But the thing is, ShoWTimE's not exactly going to know what's going off either.
Ben?
Like,
hello?
Hello? You can hear me?
Okay, well, I can't hear Ben. I don't know if that's just me.
Oh.
If production could tell me if they can hear me or they can hear Ben. I can't hear Ben either.
Hello?
Well, I guess I'll just pretend until production tells me otherwise that they can hear me or Ben, and whoever the audience can hear will be the one that gets to commentate for a little bit. Widowmine drop is not super successful there. We end up seeing 2 workers worth of damage being taken. Blue Snake Peaks is coming on out. All right, looks like production says that they can hear me at least, so that's something. Oh, my earphones broke. I'm so sorry. Okay, well, Ben, take it away.
Hello, guys and girls. I do believe we had a few technical issues there. Maybe there was maybe it wasn't me. It might have been Ravi's headphones just not picking me up. But anyhow, back to the game. So I'm going to be talking about this right now after just worrying and going through all my tech issues here. But souL has 2 tanks set up nice and defensively. We have the bunker as well. And this, if I didn't know what happened earlier, I'd have been like, oh, this is just your regular, ordinary game where Stimmer's on the way, +1. We have a 3rd CC on the way as well. And if I look at this, without realizing that I didn't get to see this game for the last minute because I was stressing out, I would say that, yeah, this is fairly even between them. Protoss has a little bit of a lead here on the probes, but that is totally normal. You can kind of look at each orbital as maybe a 4 worker lead, maybe 3.5 or so. Templar Archives on the way, along with charge and quite a few gateways. This medevac did find itself in the back of the base of ShoWTimE, and one of the nice things about 2K Atmospheres is the fact that it has a lot of dead airspace where you can go into the main or the natural. So lots of choice there, so ShoWTimE will have to keep his eyes open for what's going on, and he is really respecting that with his own observer. It doesn't look like a Robo Bay is going to be the unit of choice here, but the thing is, he's against tanks, which tanks against Archons and Zealots and stuff, that isn't what you want to be making. So I like the fact that ShoWTimE is just good in straight ahead, going for those Archons, going for those charge lots here. But those Widowmines are having to be respected here, and one of them does get away. Are you back here, Ravi?
I am technically back here with a makeshift solution, so I can hear you at least a little bit right now. Yeah, but this game is shaped up in a very interesting way, Ben.
I was like, I'm fine, and then like, production were like, yeah, we can hear you, Ben, and you kept on. It was absolutely beautiful.
Me. I think my earbuds literally just broke out of nowhere, so we're back and we're gonna focus on the game now, I guess.
Yeah, these things absolutely happen. This game, by the way, absolutely gonna go at least a little bit of distance, maybe longer than all the other games did combined, almost. And what we have here, like I like how ShoWTimE's addressed this. Like, he saw us against tanks. He didn't go into the Robo and all that jazz, like the Colossus. It can be very often a mistake that Protosses make. He was just like, you know what? I'm going to get a lot of units, going to get Storm up and running. And in fact, he might go for a bit of a bust here, depending on what he sees with that Observer.
Well, Storm is going to be finishing up over here. He's got 5 High Templar, and not including, I mean, that's also with 4 of them be able to hide safely in that Warp Prism as well. This could be a really big opportunity, but the 4th base is also being established. So if he does go for the bust, he is going to have something to fall back for. Has a lot of pylons coming on up, and I wonder if we're going to see the big Zealot warp in or something that oftentimes is preceding the massive attack.
double upgrades on the way for ShoWTimE, and he is getting his 4th. And he did get to scout that there is like a 4cc going on. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on the side of souL. Like he's playing the late game before the late games actually happen, but that's what he wants to go for. That's kind of the old souL that I know and remember, especially in his TVZ matchups. And ShoWTimE, he's looking like he's eager to deal damage, which by the defensive setup that souL has, I don't know if this is going to work out actually for ShoWTimE.
Ooh, cancels a warp in over there. Takes his warp prism out of warp in mode a little bit too early. Delays things a tiny bit. Ghost Academy is in a very vulnerable position, funny enough. I think the Stalkers can still attack it from a slightly higher angle, but there's some really solid EMPs. Gets a lot of the Stalkers. Doesn't quite get the Archons or that many of the Zealots, though.
I'll be... Yeah, being very frank, I think souL's playing a beautiful series, man. I know I've been gushing over him the whole time, but the way that he's played all of this and the way that he's being incapable to play any style almost, that's a scary-ass player. Like, if you told me that this is a player that we've hyped up for a long time, but hasn't really kind of matched that hype, I'd be like, what? He's playing absolutely amazing. Look at this. Just guns in here, goes for the Nexus. How do you get across the map with this? I have no idea, but ShoWTimE fought with his pants down.
Yeah, and now ShoWTimE feels like he has to go. Look at that. Siege tanks up on the high ground. Siege tanks all situated in nice little nooks and crannies. Yes, it does look like ShoWTimE will be able to continue busting on through. But remember, he's trading out a large chunk of all of his Zealots in his army. So ShoWTimE has to find the best trades he can. Great storms on the big clump of these siege tanks and everything over here. But even just busting up the ramp, you can see ShoWTimE is starting to bleed out units.
This is not the situation that ShoWTimE was looking for. And look at all those high Templars as well, getting grabbed by these Marauders. Focusing them down is souL. They're both losing a lot of units here, but you got to remember, souL's actually got a 4th base. He's landing it, making it PF amidst all this madness. This is absolutely bonkers. Another EMP, a lack of storm here in the main base. ShoWTimE, what happened here? You've lost control of this game.
Oh, now both the players of supply block. No more reinforcements coming in, but souL's already defended. He doesn't need reinforcements. It's ShoWTimE that really needs them. And, well, souL is going to kill enough workers that ShoWTimE is no longer supply blocked over here as he goes back to supply blocking him and losing some more of those pylons. Now, the medevacs just go float over to the corner. There's nothing ShoWTimE can do about it.
This is... I can't believe it, Ravi. What an upset is happening here. Like, souL saved his 3rd base, actually, and floats it back on over. And all things said and done, he's actually up at 55 workers. He's going for Liberators, he's going for tanks. He actually has better upgrades on his army as well with +2 finishing. Like, ShoWTimE, he has to make something happen, but what can he do? And souL is going to tear him apart from the inside as well. There might be a nice storm landing, but is it enough? I don't think so. That is a beautiful storm to start things off, though.
Yeah, he is starting to bust on through. A big blink forward also to try and snipe off some of these siege tanks. He's out of Zealots. Remember, he just cannot replenish any of these units. He is being able to snipe off a couple more of these medevacs. The Archons are really low on hit points, though. Even the Observer goes down. No more high ground vision to bust up into the Liberators, into the siege tanks, and we're starting to see ShoWTimE is bleeding on out. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. souL takes the series 3